Hello friends, welcome to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jody and it's great to have you join me today. Today I am doing another thrift with me because I actually had a lot of fun the first time. I was surprised. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, and I was actually, after I had finished that one, I was looking forward to the next chance I could go. So it's been a few months, seasons have changed, and we are in the spring. Obviously you know that, you don't need me to tell you that necessarily. We are in the spring heading into the summer months, so some of the things that I'm looking for have changed a little bit, and some of that is just because I've had more time to kind of think about what I want to add to my list, and then also I've just had things that, you know, with the change of season I may be more interested in. Although I've heard from a few people who thrift regularly that shopping for the off-season stuff is a little easier because there's just more plentiful and everything like that. So we'll see, I guess. These are new spots to me. I've never been to any of, well, I take that back. I've been to one of these spots before. But I'm just going to pop up a list of what I would like or what I'm looking for, keeping it in mind. So I have shorts, denim or linen. I would like those. And I'm looking for shorts that I will say have a little bit more of an inseam. I have enough shorts, but they're just a little shorter than I would like on a good portion of them. So we're trying to remedy that. So shorts, like I said, short sleeve summer cardigan. I have one that I absolutely love, but I don't wear it that often anymore because she's getting a little holey here. Now my husband, bless his heart, has kind of mended that, but she's still getting holey. She's just getting threadbare and everything there. So I would like a short sleeve summer cardigan that would looks nice, that I can layer over like a tank top, maybe a light t-shirt, but I'm mainly thinking like my tank tops is what I want that for. And I would prefer that to be in an off-white or a white. The current one I have is off-white. Then I still have athletic wear. I've had that on my list before, and I still want some of that. Some longer sleeves things. I have enough tanks, I believe, but I just want some longer sleeve pieces that will be nice to wear at the gym or just for like lounging around in the house. I'm still looking for a long plaid wool skirt. I just think those are so beautiful looking, so classy and chic, and I'm sorry if you can hear the traffic, but that is definitely something that I still have on my list. Don't have high hopes for that. I feel like that is going to be like kind of a once in a lifetime type of find, but we'll see. Cute dresses. I love like a cottagecore style dress, and so that I am looking forward to. Long denim skirt and a long white skirt. So we're talking like maxi skirts, okay? I have a shorter denim skirt and I do wear it, but I just think a nice denim one would be nice to add to the rotation. I actually, though, out of those two, the white skirt or the denim skirt, I think I'm leaning more towards the white skirt one. And then fun feminine tops, just like little tops with, you know, puffy sleeves maybe, or little frills here, little designs, eyelet lace, something like that. I think those would be nice. I don't have anything necessarily in mind, but I just know when I see it, I'll like it. Another thing I'm looking out for, kind of keeping my eye out for, but I think I'm going to be pretty picky on this one, is graphic tees. I don't want just any random saying, but sometimes they can be really cute. I do like those ones that are like Bronco style ones, just kind of like a Western type theme, I think. I saw one once in a store and I really regret not picking that up, but it's okay. It's another day. I have plenty of shirts. I have plenty of tops. I'm not hurting. I just would like to add them to my collection possibly. And whatever I add to my collection, I might be willing to like pull some out because, or declutter some that I'm just not wearing anymore. Another thing I added on my list was a purple and pink flannel button down. Now I know that this is a little off season, but you know, like I said, it might be a good time to find it. People might not be looking for this. When I was thrifting the last time, I saw a lot of flannel that I wasn't really expecting. I don't know why, but I think it's pretty popular in the Midwest. So I'm hoping that I will have like a good chance of finding this. I think I'm going to be pretty picky on that too. The purple and pink flannel that I absolutely love and still have, but should just get rid of, it is wearing out in the back. Once again, that spot is just threadbare. I cannot repair it. I cannot stitch it together. I cannot use fabric glue to put it together. I've tried, trust me, I've tried. But what I'm saying is both of those colors were very pastel-like, very muted. I don't want anything super bold and bright. Another thing I'm going to keep my eye out for is tennis shoes. I found a really good pair the last time I was there, and I'm kind of disappointed maybe that I let those go, although I didn't really need them at the time. My tennis shoes are still in good enough shape, but you know, you do eventually wear through those. I do a lot of walking, and so I think maybe an extra pair, if I could get it for a good deal that I really like, would be a good idea. Just, you know, keep your eye out for it, or keep my eye out for it. And the last thing I have on my list is suede boots. I have a pair, but ever since we went on our vacation, they didn't they didn't travel well. We'll just say that. They became cracked and everything, and I can just see that they're going to be kind of peeling apart here pretty soon. And it makes me very sad because I love those boots and I don't want to have to get rid of them, but they're not going to be looking very good pretty soon. So that's the items that I have on my list. I hope you enjoy shopping with me, and we'll just see what we can find. And you know, if anything else comes across that we're not really expecting or necessarily looking for but catches our eye, who knows, might pick it up. Oh, by the way, I do have a budget of, let's see, I haven't specifically set this. Last time I did $20 and I came in well under. I came in at $11 and something. Let's stick with $30 because I feel like if I get some shoes, if I am able to find shoes, that will bulk up the price quite a bit. But $30 for shoes. If I don't have any shoes, let's keep it under 20, okay? That's the goal. Okay, so the first store that we stopped at, I was really excited, but really didn't have any idea of what I would be getting into. The first room was the men's room, and it also had shoes and other miscellaneous items. They had a decent selection of shoes, just nothing that I was particularly looking for. One pair did kind of catch my eye. It was a pair of taller boots, but when I felt them, they just felt very cheaply made, very like stiff, plasticky almost. So I quickly passed on those. I didn't even really need them anyways. This store also had a lot of glassware for the size of it in general, and I was pretty impressed with that. But once again, it was just not something that I needed, nothing that I was particularly looking for. So we moved on to the other room that had more of the clothes. I should say more of the women's clothing. And I want to say that this store had everything priced to sell, in my opinion. Everything that I saw was $3. So I don't know if that was across the board or there were a few pieces that maybe were a little bit more. But like I said, everything that I looked at was $3. I was pretty impressed with that. Now, the main issue I had here was just finding things that were the length that I wanted them to be. And as I said, I wanted shorts that were a little bit longer inseam. I'm like looking for like a 4-inch inseam ideally, and none of these that I saw really met that requirement. This pair I was kind of looking at a little bit longer, but I really don't think it was the length, and I didn't even end up trying them on. I guess they had a dressing room there, but I was not aware of that at the time. My husband told me later. So you know, I guess I could have tried it, but I still don't think it would have worked. And I did look at this pair of like cargo style pants. They kind of caught, or shorts, I should say, that caught my eye. Once again, I still don't think they were long enough, but I do think that I was wondering if this second pair, this like coral color pair, maybe was donated by the same person because they seem to be like of the same type of pattern and everything. And then moving on to the tops, I had about the same amount of luck. I stopped to pause to look at a few extra or read a few graphic tees that they had. Some of them maybe caught my eye, but when I read them, it just wasn't what I wanted. And then I stopped to look at a few of the plaid prints and everything like that. But really, like I said, nothing caught my eye. And so they did have a nice selection, though. I was like moderately impressed with the store, once again, for not knowing what to expect. I did see this wool skirt, but once again, it just wasn't the length that I wanted, not even close, but it was cute looking. Okay, so the first spot that we stopped at had been recommended by a friend, and they had great prices, I will say that, but just nothing really caught my eye. And I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, any of you that have gone thrifting, sometimes at these resold stores, there's just a certain scent to them that's kind of a little off-putting. It kind of just makes me not in the spirit for shopping. And you know, I had that at the first Goodwill that I had gone at in my first thrift video, but there were some good things that I found there, so sometimes you just had to get over that. But anyways, I didn't find anything I was really all that interested in, and so now we have 2 other stops in this other town, and hopefully we can come across something good. Now, this next store I have been to a time or two, although it has been a long time. And so I was excited to stop here because this is one of the stores that is like a resale store. So they will purchase material or purchase items from you and then go on to sell it again. I just feel like they have a little bit higher standards for quality and everything like that. So like I said, I was excited to go shopping here. First off, they started out with outside. They had a little clearance section. So I was definitely digging through that to see if there was any good finds. I saw a couple pieces, you know, that I'd pull out and take a second look at, but nothing that really caught my eye. And one thing about inside the store, like I said, it's very well organized. They have a section with new tags, and then all the other sections are like organized based on the type of thing that you're shopping for, whether it's long sleeves, short sleeves, tanks, dresses, all that type of stuff, and it's color coded. So that is awesome. I love to see that. This first piece here that I pull out on the new tag area. I actually was trying to get a feel for, you know, how big are the sleeves going to be? Are they going to be hanging? Because just the way it looks, it looked a little like it might not be fitting very well, but I was interested in it. I kind of liked it. I did a very poor job of showing you the tag, but it did say it was for $9. For with new tags, I thought that's pretty good. And so I kept that aside. I was definitely going to be trying that on again. Just a few more pieces going through this dress. This was like a silk or satiny dress. I would say more satin. And I liked it, but I just didn't like the way it hit. For that style, I would have wanted it to be longer, and it wasn't the case. It was kind of just like above or just below my knee, and I just felt like that was an awkward length. They had this other section here that was just like all white. Most of them were dresses. There might have been a top or two. I don't fully remember. I was saying here that I wanted to try this one on later, but I didn't pull it. I forgot about it actually after I had several other things that I would try. So there's a little spoiler alert. I do pick out several pieces to try on here, which will be exciting in the dressing room that they have. So this next rack, all behind me and everything like that, is just packed full of different dresses. And so I wanted to definitely look through these. I just love looking through dresses. Now, some of them were a bit on the shorter side, like that one that I had pulled out. I actually really liked the dress, the eyelet details and everything, but and I enjoyed the color, but it just wasn't the length that I was hoping for. So I was just going to keep my eye out scrolling through. I'm not necessarily like particular or partial to any color necessarily. I just enjoy having a variety of colors in my closet, but I also like neutrals and basics as well because I feel like those can go with a lot of things. So I like colors to also match specific instances and things like that, but I also do like neutrals as well. So I come across these two dresses that look a lot alike. I'm pulling out this first one. It's by Time and True. Has this nice drawstring. It's just a very casual dress. I felt like it would be something comfortable to maybe do stuff around the house even, or, you know, casual going out, getting groceries, shopping, whatever. This first one, like I said, is Time and True. It retails for $8. The other one, I didn't catch the brand, but it was $11. And I just slightly liked the coloring, the lighter blue coloring. So I set that one aside as well, which we'll try on. And then this piece I'm pulling out here, I joke with my husband, this is a dress, but it looks like a combination between like a sweater shirt and a muumuu. So it was just kind of funny. It wasn't nearly as long as a muumuu, but it was just an awkward piece. So moving on to the next section here, I'm in the short sleeve shirts, and I can just feel myself getting overwhelmed in this section, although I do take time to kind of joke around about some of the pieces that I find with my husband. But this section can, like I said, just kind of overwhelm me. And I did go through the shorts, but I didn't show much of that except for this kind of quirky pair. But I did later pick out a pair of shorts to try on in the dressing room. So I'll take you through that as well. Sorry I didn't show you the shopping through the shorts. But I don't know, I just find myself more drawn, more easy to shop through dresses and things like that. Maybe it's just more interesting to me. That's probably the case, to be truthfully honest. So this is the long dress section. And so I was taking my time going through these. There are several pieces I was actually moderately interested in. And we'll come across this blue dress here in a minute. I pull it out. And it was kind of fitting my cottagecore vibes, I felt like, although the print was just a little bit more bold than I would have liked it to be. But it retailed for $15, so it wasn't bad, but I would have liked to have seen it be for a little bit more of a discounted price. Now moving on to the dressing room, I tried on this first top, and while it wasn't bad, the fit of it wasn't quite what I was hoping for. And I do have to be careful with this coloring. Sometimes it can just like wash me out. It just doesn't enhance my skin tone or anything like that. Maybe if I have more of a tan, it might look a little bit better, but that wasn't the case today. Now moving on to this blue casual striped dress. I wanted to like this, guys. I did, but the fit just wasn't quite there. It wasn't quite right. It had a little pucker in the front, a little gapping, and then also the length of it. While the back felt okay, somehow I still felt exposed. And I think because if you notice, like the front of it was shorter than the back, I kind of wish it was all like the length of the back, and I just would have felt a little bit more covered up, a little bit more concealed. I just felt like on a windy day, you know, this thing could go, it could show a lot real fast, unfortunately. And with that pucker on the top, it just wasn't going to be what I wanted, I guess. So moving on to the shorts that I'm trying on. This is a pair that I didn't show you me picking them out, but I like this wash, I thought, on the hanger, But when I tried them on, the way it has that fading, that distressed look on the front, just I felt like accentuated my hips, and I just didn't like the way it looked. If they would have not clung maybe so much to my legs, I mean, they fit great. They were supposed to cling like that, but it just wasn't quite what I was hoping for. It just didn't wear as well on me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I ended up not getting those. Our final stop is Goodwill, and I'm starting to lose steam. I'm starting to lose hope, but I had success at Goodwill last time, so I'm just showing you the prices here, but I'm looking forward to possibly finding success here is what I'm trying to say to finish my thought. I start out in a longer section, and I just browsing through here. This is a mixture of some two-piece sets, some dresses, and different things like that. And I do come across an athletic set here. By the way, my cameraman has stepped away. He's getting some food for himself. So I am on my own with the camera. But I did find this two-piece like track-like set, and I mainly like the top. The pants I wasn't like totally interested in, but I thought, for the price, which I don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but for the price, I might be willing to give that a try. So I did put that in my cart to try on later. And once again, I'm just scrolling through here. There's a lot of misses, and it's just starting to feel defeating and a little frustrating. There were some cute pieces, but just like not for the length that I wanted. And so that was the frustrating part. The ones that I felt were cute were just too short. And also at this point, there was this family that came in, a grandmother, I'm assuming mother and child, and things kind of went crazy at that point. But look at the sequins dress, by the way. I did have a dress that was a much more mild, it was like a champagne color for a wedding, a family wedding, and it wore beautifully, but that one would not be something that I would wear. And here's another unusual dress. I mean, the top looked okay, but it's got this funny ruffle or furry thing on the bottom. I don't know. It was unique. So that's why I pointed it out to you. But I was saying how this family came in and the child was kind of running around. It was kind of keeping me distracted and keeping some of the workers on their toes, shall we say. All right, so I have clearly moved on. I'm in the tops, and I'm just kind of speed through these clips just a little bit, but I do sort through a few of the flannels and just to kind of take a second look at those. They always catch my eye for some reason, but I don't really need a ton. I'm just, like I said, looking for a pale pink and purple, and this was not it. It just wasn't what I wanted. And at this point, I am starting to feel just defeated. I'm starting to feel frustrated that I'm not finding anything, and I'm feeling hope dwindling. You can see it written on my face, I feel like, but we're not giving up. We're moving on to a different section of the tops, and I come across this piece. I kind of thought for a second, maybe this might work, but then I put it against my skin tone, and I'm like, no, it's probably going to be too pale. I probably should have tried it on, to be truthfully honest. There's another cute light vintage style top. I don't know how to call it, like a cottagecore style. That's the best thing I could think of. But why do all these have to be so short? I just wish we could make things longer. Okay, guys, so I'm trying on this tracksuit, like I said, and I don't know, it probably doesn't show it that well, but the top, that extra fold, the collar area, looked like elephant ears, and the pants were way too tight. The top fit, it just looked ridiculous, and like I said, the pants did not fit, so it was a good laugh. We're leaving. My husband had joined me again at this point, and I see these shoes. Oh my goodness. There are only a few occasions I imagine that these shoes are used for, but I'm trying my runway walk in them, guys. I wanted to give this a try just to be silly, okay? All right, friends, now for the grand reveal. How much did I spend, and what did I come away with for my thrifting? I will say we kept our goal of staying under $20 for like the clothing items, and I had made $30 if I got any shoes. So we stayed under our goal. We actually didn't get anything thrifty, unfortunately. I'm disappointed. I will say I had very high hopes going into the day, and then like the first stop, I don't know, I just kind of it kind of got me off the whole, I don't know, just threw off the whole experience, I want to say. It's nothing to say that there's bad about that store. It's not what I'm saying. I guess the last time when I started, my first stop, I had gotten some items that I had liked. I had picked out several things to try on, and I had actually purchased some, and maybe that put me in the mood for it. This one, like, that was not the case. But it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that I need success right off the bat. It's a process. Like I said, I did try some things on. You guys saw that. Just nothing was quite hitting right. But we did stop at TJ Maxx afterwards. I say we. My husband's been with me. He's been my cameraman for a good portion of the time. So you can thank him. But like I said, we did stop at TJ Maxx, and so I did get something there, or he actually purchased it for me. Remember how I said I wanted some denim shorts that were a little bit longer? We picked some up, folks. We got some, and I am happy to say they fit perfectly. I like the coloring of them. The only thing like I'm not super wild about is like the distressing details. And it's not to say that I don't, like, I've worn plenty of like jeans and even some shorts with distressing. I'm just kind of feeling like the ones that I went to replace this with don't have the distressing on it, and so it'll be okay. I still like them. I really do like them, and like I said, they fit perfectly, so I'm happy about that. And I need to put my sunglasses back on because it's getting sunny out, and my eyes are going to start watering if I don't. Let me know what you thought of this thrifting experience down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions, any places that you think I should stop at, let me know. I know a lot of times in these thrifting stores it's more localized, and that's why I don't necessarily say where I'm going to, except for Goodwill is like nationwide, but I don't mention the other stores just because, like I said, it's very localized a lot of times. That's that, I guess. So like I said, I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below, and until I see you again in the next video, have a great day. Bye.